Wow, the new Poppy Playtime Chapter just came out. Wonder what the internet is, how the internet's taking it. I wonder if the reviews are just as positive as Chapter 4 and 3.
This was a fucking mess. I am saying this because, and I have this policy, right? If it's the first game in the new series, if it's the second, third, I can be more forgiving of things finding its footing. This is chapter fucking 5, right? I should know the motivation very clearly. I should know where I'm going. I should know why I'm going to it. I should know exactly what the character motivations are.
1 out of 10. 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 Asking. Horrible game. Horrible game. You gotta be kidding me. We're dragging this into a 6th one. We're dragging this into a 6th one. Are you fucking kidding me? Absolute horse shit. I said you needed to end it at 5. Now we're gonna have a fucking Fast and Furious situation. There's gonna be 15 of these fucking games. There's gonna be 15 of these fucking games. They're gonna be making these fucking games when we're all old dead in the fucking ground.
There is no way you get another cliffhanger. I thought this was the last one. Oh my God. There's angst that there's no way. Oh my God. I thought, did somebody not, what?
Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video, and today I will be talking about Poppy Playtime and its controversial release of Chapter 5. If you do not know, let me give you a recap. Poppy Playtime is a mascot horror game where you play as an ex-factory worker going back to the old toy factory to see if any of his old workers are still alive. However, there are monstrous versions of the toys trying to kill you. In the game, you have to solve puzzles, meet characters, some enemies, some friends. And now with the release of Chapter 5, many people have been divided about the game. Now, I am here to show both sides of the arguments, and while giving my own 2 cents on what I thought about the chapter. I will also be going into story, design, characters, and gameplay, explaining, what was the good and the bad. Also, do not forget to subscribe so you never miss a video, and also spoilers for Chapter 5 of Poppy Playtime, and let's get into it. First, let's talk about lore and characters. Poppy Playtime has dark elements such as child experimentation and orphans being turned into monstrous toys. Now, the story does intrigue me, but I was having some confusion. For some of the lore for certain characters can only be found via either letters or tapes around the game. Now, this wouldn't be an issue for the most part, except I'm still very confused on who the prototype is. If you don't know, the prototype is the main villain of Poppy Playtime, being this big gesture toy with spider legs and can mimic other voices of different characters. And he seems to have a fixation for Poppy for some reason, but we never learn why. I also have no clue who he is or what his motive is. I know he led the Hour of Joy and wants to free the orphans, but he seems to be conducting the experiments as well. It's very confusing. Although the story is super interesting and unique, it's really got confusing the deeper the story goes. Also, one more thing is people thinking this would be the last chapter. Now, to be fair, it has been stated Chapter 5 felt like the finale with the prototype's reveal. And I think the reason why people thought it was the last chapter is because games like Bendy and the Ink Machine that followed a 5-chapter format, Chapter 5 being the finale. And I don't think Chapter 6 would then be dragging it. I feel like if they continue after Chapter 6, then it would be dragging it. Also, Lily Lovebraids, I hate her. She was an annoying fucking character. In my opinion, she is a prime example on why people hate mascot horror to the extreme that they do today. She is very uninteresting. She's not scary at all with her design. Her lore doesn't seem interesting as well. She she isn't scary, and her part of the chapter is just so annoying and long. And it wouldn't be that big of a problem if that weren't the case. Like, her section of the chapter takes up like most of the second half. It's so tedious. You know what I mean? Yeah. And also Giblet, I didn't really care for him either. Giblet was just felt like a self-insert character, really. He was just kind of there. Poppy, he mentions how he knows Poppy really well, but Poppy never mentioned him in the previous chapter, so I don't know how that's the case. Also, you have some other characters in there, like the red monster guy I forgot the name of, with the mouth stomach. That was, his design is cool. I don't really care for him that much though. But yeah, that's really it for lore and characters. But is the gameplay still enjoyable? Here we have gameplay. Now, when Poppy Playtime first came out, the grab pack mechanic was very unique to the mascot horror genre. Not many games like it have, like its predecessors, have used gameplay like that at any before. But now it is getting kind of old. The puzzles are getting really tedious. The grab pack is getting really, boring. At least they bring in some new elements of the grab pack, like the pressure hand. But at the same time, it's getting really redundant. I think it's really annoying that, and also takes it out of like the illusion for a bit. That like takes it out of the world, because why do they have this much security? Like, why do you need like this specific grab pack hand with this specific door that leads you to another thing where you need another hand and a key card and stuff like that? And it also just has a bunch of chases and puzzles, chases and puzzles, chases and puzzles. I wish they had more unique gameplay, which in Chapter 4 they did have. And then people complained about it, which made no sense to me. You had the unique gameplay of the Nightmare Critters boss fight, where you had to get batteries, and then, you had the choice to kill one or not. You had Doughy's boss fight, where you had to freeze him and then light him on fire, which was really unique. But this just felt like chasing and running around in circles, and oftentimes I felt lost. I didn't know what to do. It just really, and it was also really difficult during the Lily Lovebraid section as well, because there was one moment in the game where I was really struggling and I could not for the life of me, and it was like this little star you needed to find to like for like a secret hidden wall. It was just super annoying and super tedious. But yeah, that's really it that I have to say about gameplay. I hope in Chapter 6 they start to make it a little bit more interesting. But now on to, I think now it's on to character design. Alright, now for this section, I'm going to be only talking about Chapter 5 specific designs. So I'm not going to be talking about Poppy's design, Huggy's design, Kissy's design. I'm specifically talking about the Chapter 5 designs. Now, let me get the good ones out of the way. I am a big fan of the outside animals idea and the concept and the overall execution of it, having a squishmallow type of enemy, but them being inside out and you can like see the flesh, I think is such a cool and unique idea that hasn't really been done before in horror media, and I just thought it was a really fun idea. My second favorite design, well, probably my favorite design in the entire game, is the prototype. Now, I know a lot of people have been complaining about the prototype's design, saying it's just a gesture. I think it's perfectly fine as a gesture. I think it is probably one of the coolest designs. I think having all the arms and him wearing catnap as like a coat is honestly such a cool detail that you wouldn't even notice on your first playthrough. I think his entrance was super menacing. I think his overall look and design and idea was really menacing as well. I really like the inside mouth guy. That's also really unique and cool that we haven't really seen before. It kind of reminded me of Glamrock Freddy a little bit, but a little bit more organic, if that makes sense. Now, time for the negatives of character design. Like I said before, I don't like Lily Bloodbraids. I think she's super uninteresting. I don't like her design. I think she's not scary enough. And the same can be said about Giblet. He just doesn't interest me at all. It's just so dumb. Like, those two designs are really what irks me the most. I don't love their designs. It feels like, you know, prime example of mascot horror. It just really didn't interest me. I like the star thing. The star thing was pretty cool and fun. It's like a flashlight, and you can use it as a black light to shine around to find secrets around the game. I thought that was also super cool and fun. But yeah, overall, I really like the Chapter 5 designs. It just sucks that the ones that I liked the most, you don't really get to see the most. But the chapters, but the ones you do not like the most, well, I personally don't like the most, you see the most. I think that kind of bothers me a lot. I really wish there wasn't as much Giblet and Lily Lovebraids, or their designs could have been tweaked to be a little Giblet, not so much because he's a protagonist or like a supporting character. Lily Bloodbraids could have definitely been scarier in my opinion. She was not as scary. But yeah, that's it for character design. Now it's time for my overall opinions on the chapter. My final thoughts on the chapter are good. I thought it was a good chapter. I thought it was pretty fun. I did get really annoyed at some parts, and I did grow tired of some parts. I didn't love the cliffhanger. I thought it was just fine. It was not the best chapter. If I were to rank it, I would call it the probably number 4, which means it's second to last. But there's a huge gap between that and chapter 2, I will say. But yeah, I think it was pretty fine. Besides my complaints about Lily Love Braids, Giblets, some story elements, I think it is just fine. I do not think it is a bad game. I think everyone is also entitled to their own opinion. Do I think some of those streamers in the beginning were a little bit overreacting? Yes, but I can also see the frustration of what they thought of the game. I can definitely see Markiplier's point of view, and Joe Bart's point of view, and Queso's point of view on why they thought it was a bad game, but I just thought it was fine. I thought it was just there. I'm still gonna play chapter 6. I'm still hyped for chapter 6. I cannot wait to see where the story ends, and I am really hyped to see, you know, the final fight between the Doctor and the Prototype and Huggy and Kissy, and, you know, all the characters coming back. They're probably gonna do that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a video, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.